I've never had a facial. I've never had a massage. Walk me through what's going to happen. I get greeted.
You want your space and your business to feel like a big brand, but it be a small business.
What advice would you give to someone who is thinking about coming here to start a local business?
The advice I give to anyone to start a business is to do it because you love it, right? Because if you don't enjoy it, you're just not going to succeed.
Hello, all you beautiful people, and welcome back. It's Ryan Bogdan with Talkin St. Pete. I am so excited for today's episode, but before we get into that, I got to let you know that this is sponsored by Bogdan Homes. If you know anyone looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, get our contact information in the description below. And now into our beautiful guest, Amy Lai, the co-founder of Maisonglo, her and her sister founded this amazing place that keeps everyone's skin. I'm saying everyone because you need to go get your skin glow on. Amy, welcome back.
Thank you.
Welcome back. And I say welcome back before she gets to talk all about herself, because that's what we do here. Maybe we can throw in a clip. We were here. We were having an incredible conversation.
Started off great.
And the power goes out.
Yeah. And that was my big thing. I wanted to bring like accessible skincare to St. Pete. And so that like you could come in.
What just happened there, buddy? Trip a breaker?
Uh-oh.
But it still says we're recording, right?
Do you hear something?
No, nothing.
No. That's a first. Look, we got all these.
We've shut it down.
There's always something new.
So, always something new. We tripped a breaker.
Yeah. It was just too much energy for the entire building.
Right. We just shut it down.
Exactly.
We shut it down.
So I'm taking it as a good thing, not a bad thing.
Yeah, we get to do it again.
Yeah,
Get to hang out
exactly.
again. So welcome back. Thanks for coming back.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to be here.
Yeah.
So I was excited to like finish what we started.
Yeah. It was great. And so I have to say, as a man coming into your, do we call it a spa? What are we calling it?
Yeah, I would call it a spa. I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes I refer to it as like a facial bar.
Facial
'Cause
bar?
It's a little
Yeah.
bit different than like a
Yeah.
normal spa, but essentially. Correct.
Okay, so I've never done that before.
Yes.
So thanks for having me in.
Yes, of course.
It
Thanks
was
for coming,
very relaxing,
Yep.
not intimidating.
which I love for you.
Yes.
Because I feel like most men are like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
You know?
I'll tell you. Like, obviously the ladies have no problem. They're like, yeah, facials all day.
Right.
But as a man, I don't have a skincare routine. I
Right.
just wash.
Which is wild because you do have skin. So let's start there. That's absolutely crazy.
Right.
But no, I get it. Like men just don't. I mean, men spend money on other things, right?
Yeah.
Like your haircut,
Yeah.
like all this other stuff. But like
of course.
for some reason, we just like forget skin, which is just
Stupid.
kind of crazy,
Yeah.
right? So I'm glad you came in.
Yeah.
Got to
Yes. No, it
experience
was really
it.
cool. It was relaxing. That cool jelly stuff on the face was like refreshing.
Yeah, jelly mask.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little hydration.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like every time women come in, they're like, oh, I would love like my boyfriend or my husband or even my son like to come in. And I always reassure everyone, like it's wild. When I first started, I had no intention of having really a male client base. Like I wanted everyone to feel welcome, but it's definitely not what you think, right? And I would say about 25%, 30% of our members are male.
Really?
100%. And, you know, they just get it. They're like, okay, great. Like I can come in and I can do this. It's not intimidating. It's affordable and
Yeah.
it's easy in and out. And
In
we
and
have some, you know, pretty big business owners, people who are busy that come in and make that time because it's an hour and like it's once a month. So
Well, that and you're forced to just sit.
you're forced to. And that's the thing. You can talk if you want, like you don't have to, but it's also it doesn't feel, I don't know, if you're ever somewhere and you're doing something and you're like, okay, I like want this to be over. Like it feels fluid. So it's
Yeah.
not like dragging on. Like it's like, all right, I'm in, I'm out. I got what
And
I
it's
needed to
refreshing.
do.
You're like getting a facial massage
Yeah,
and doing all the things.
doing
yeah.
all the things. You feel
Yeah.
good about yourself. And then like because we see you, our whole idea, right, is to see you monthly. Then we can just kind of like follow and create like start creating like a skincare regime for you so that you have that, you know? And like I think that's overwhelming for men. I think it's overwhelming for a lot of people.
It is.
Personally,
It
honestly,
is.
it's overwhelming because it's like, okay, what does that mean?
Yeah, and simple is better.
Simple is better, but that's our whole motto.
Yeah.
I think that's all areas of life, right? Like
Keep it simple,
with like,
stupid.
Yeah, even with like the gym or like anything, right? Fashion, whatever. It's like do the staple things and you're gonna get what you need, right? Don't try to
Yes.
go crazy. Like just do the simple things. So anyway.
So how'd you guys get started? Let's start there. So where does this come from?
So I've always been in this industry.
Yeah.
Started it when I was like 19. I've been in the industry for a really long time. And when I was thinking of like opening a business, I really wanted to like do something beauty related, but I didn't know. I was like, okay, I was literally looking at like dry bar franchises.
Let's try to keep this a little closer.
Dry bar franchises, any like thing like that. And then I kind of just started thinking about the gap in like my industry specifically between like the med spa and day spa situation. And I know we kind of touched on this last time,
Yeah,
but
yeah. I don't know if anyone's gonna see that. We did. We definitely did.
we
Whether they're super
did
high end or
like the like the Don Cesar, or like
right.
the all
Yeah,
great places.
yeah, but
Like
you're spending all day there.
you're spending all day there and you're
Yeah.
spending a lot of money. Like you're coming out, okay? And it's it's supposed to be relaxing, but you're not necessarily going to get an effective like you're not going to get a goal driven treatment there. Where the med spa, you absolutely will. However, not necessary for like a monthly thing,
Hmm.
like that's something you do a few times a year. And if you can make it affordable monthly, great, but most people can't. So that's where I was like, okay, we need something like the in between. Like where is like just someone who doesn't need all the aggressive treatment and someone who just wants to come in and like do a self care and like a skincare monthly. So that's kind of where we came up with Maison Glow.
Okay, got it. So it's been a few years. You and your
It's been almost 3,
yes. Well,
which
congratulations.
is absolutely wild.
You
It's
and your
flown by.
sister Sarah. So how
Mhm.
is it being in business? And did you guys? Did it start out as like, okay, we're gonna do this together, or did one of you had the idea and
Mhm.
then you're like, hey, come along with for the ride? How did
Right.
that work out?
So my sister's definitely not been in the beauty industry like I had been. So when she decided to go to esthetician school, and like when she started doing that, I was starting to think of I want to open a business. And so like it kind of just like came together. I would say the idea for Maison Glow was probably more mine as a concept, but operationally, I needed a licensed esthetician. And what better person than my sister,
Yeah,
right?
love
So
that.
I was just like, hey, I've got this thing. I'm thinking of this thing. Like, let's do it. And she's like, okay. I mean, I'm the oldest sister,
Right.
so
She's following along. Yeah.
she's like, okay, let's go. So yeah, we just did it. And operationally, it's been amazing because again, I'm not an esthetician. Like I can give you all the advice, everything, but I cannot perform the service. So that's where she came in, and that's where she is training protocol,
So she's
continuing
operations.
education. I would say like on that side of the
Yeah.
spectrum, she's service, and I would say that I'm definitely more the business and marketing and branding, and I do the day to day too because that's what business owners do,
Of
right?
course, we got to do it all.
Yeah, you got to do what you have to do.
Yeah.
So
That's cool.
yeah,
There's a thing with that, like reading a book. I think it's called Rocket Fuel. How there's the visionary and the integrator,
yeah,
right? And visionaries aren't great integrators. We
right.
don't like the mundane everyday tasks.
I have a hard time with that, and
That's right. I'm not. I'm a visionary all
I
day.
just talked about this literally yesterday, 100%. Like I get really run down when I have to do
Yeah.
the integration.
Whereas some
part.
people thrive on that.
Yeah.
They're like they don't like big picture. They want
Mhm.
the nitty gritty details and they're super
100%.
organized spreadsheets, all the things, right?
Right.
Whereas that makes me want to pull my hair out.
Yeah. So I like the idea of it.
Oh, I
right?
love. No, I need it. I want it done.
I need it.
Yeah,
I want it
I just
done.
can't do it.
But what drives me are conversations like this. What drives me are ideas. What drives me are vision. Obviously, like we need to implement them. We
Of
can't
course.
just talk all day.
Of course.
But at this point in the beginning of Maison Glow, I worked everyday front desk for a year, all the time, and it was rough on me because I felt like I wasn't using like my biggest skill set, which was coming up with ideas, visionary. Like I'm literally like doing laundry and washing dishes and checking people in and out, which is part of it, the grind, right? As a
Mhm.
business owner.
But now you've
So
done it all.
I've done it all, but now I'm back in it.
Yes. Congratulations on the second location
Yes, thank
in
you.
Tampa.
Thank you. It's been wild. And you kind of forget. You're like, oh, damn, like I have to do this again. Like,
Well, that's because there's amazing people. They say on the other side of the bridge. I'm just kidding. They're great people.
No, there are. There's a ton of people.
Tons of people on the other side of the bridge.
There's a lot of people on the
Yes.
other side of the bridge.
Yes.
But also it just felt like natural to like expand over to Tampa.
course.
And like, so we're in South Tampa. I mean, it's really silly because our locations are only 15 minutes from each other. But like,
But
that's
that
how,
bridge.
that's how crazy it is.
Yes,
right.
we know.
And so, just being and starting all over again has definitely been like, I would say humbling, but also like it brings back that like, when you get going and you kind of let things go and you're like, oh yeah, whatever. It forces you to look at your business again,
Mhm.
and
What's
it
been the
forces you.
biggest lesson so far with store number 2?
Staffing, I would say. Staffing is difficult between 2 locations. I have a great staff, but it's like, you're splitting them between 2 locations. You're trying to find who can run on their own, who's really a leader, who can take on things, and that's difficult because when we had one location, I could just be there.
Right.
Right. I can't be at both.
You mean you can't be
locations.
two people at once?
No. And my sister and I really thrive off each other's energy. So it's really hard for us, not just sisters, but as business owners, to not be in the same space together. So we split it. Like
Right.
she's here in Tampa, I'm in St. Pete, blah, blah, blah. So like we don't get a lot of time to be together. And that's where like that energy comes from,
Right.
So that's been, I think the hardest part is just like the logistics part of it. And then Tampa's just much, much bigger, which conceptually you would say, oh, great, more opportunity, right? But it's harder
Yeah.
because
Different clientele.
different clientele. In St. Pete, you get one person, you probably get 10, like legit. You get 10 people from that one person.
Right, because everyone's tight knit
I mean, look
communities.
at this.
Yeah.
We're on Talkin St. Pete. This
Right.
is what St. Pete
This
does.
is what it's all about, folks.
Right. This
Yes.
is literally what we do.
Yes.
Where Tampa, it's like no one talks.
Yeah.
I feel like no one talks. I'm like, just bring your friends.
Yeah.
Like it's just different,
Yeah. We're always unpacking that, and it is just a different vibe over there. Not good bad. It's just St. Pete's community is so strong.
Tampa's a big city.
Yeah.
St. Pete is, we're not. Like
Right.
we have all those things,
Right.
correct, right? Like we have what we need, but we're not as big as Tampa.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be a challenge for sure. So it's definitely taking me back to like being a new business owner, even though I'm not. It's
Right.
taking me back
Yeah,
there.
it's starting over again.
It's starting over again.
But are there things that are easier now because you've already built out the systems, the
Mhm.
protocols, all the things? So now you can
100%.
just
But you forget about those things, right? I don't know if you remember when you first started real estate, you were like writing a contract was
Yeah.
like, now you're
Ne-
like, blah,
Right,
you're done
yeah.
in a second,
Yeah.
And so like you forget how that stuff's just like not important anymore,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So then you have new issues. You create new issues. That's
Of
what
course.
you do as a business
and then you
owner.
probably run out of time. We had a
Run out of
great
time.
conversation, so we got to rehash that a little bit
Yeah.
because I did extend that conversation with the book, which I was refreshing on this morning.
Yes.
With time management and like with this thing, right? We have these laundry lists of things that we want to get done every day because in our mind the possibilities are infinite, right?
Yeah, you have all these ideas,
Yes.
right? You're like, oh my god, I want to do all this
And
stuff.
in your mind, you feel like, oh, I can get all those done
100%.
until you bring them into this reality,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're faced with your limitations and
Mm-hmm.
the reality of time, and that it's not all going to get done. And so, what do you do about that?
Yeah, I mean, you prioritize.
Yeah,
You
Something like
prioritize,
that.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's the reality. Like, and that is really important. I think just as an individual and a business owner, all of the things, I'm also a mom, right? Like, so I have to manage all of these things and like what is priority and knowing like that we cannot do it all and that some things are just not necessary. That's the reality.
That's it. There's things that will float to the top, and you have to be okay letting some of the things fall.
And right, and most of the things that are falling are totally fine.
Right.
Like they're not necessary. Like for me, like a silly thing would be, I mean, I'm sure a lot of moms can relate to this. I'll think of like, oh my God, like the house is messy. We left the house a mess this morning or something.
Right.
It's literally not important whatsoever.
Yeah,
But for some reason, it's at the top of my list
of course.
when I have actual pressing things to do.
Yes.
And all day long, I'm thinking about how I left a plate on the counter. Like, come on, like this is ridiculous. But it's like time, right?
Yeah,
It's us like prioritizing.
for sure.
And the same in business, the
Mhm.
business world. It's like, is that a priority?
No, it's
No.
all that, and there's things like with the cleaning is always something funny. If we're gonna talk about
Yeah.
people doing that, is that because we feel accomplished when we clean because it's immediate gratification.
Right, but it's dirty again.
Yes.
So like we're literally setting ourselves up for failure.
Exactly.
Like it's wild, this whole expectation. I think that also like a ton of like, I mean, whatever, we could go into that conversation, so deep dive, but like social media, all this stuff makes us feel that like life is supposed to look like a hotel,
Mhm.
right? Like it's supposed to be
Polished everywhere.
all the time,
Yeah.
and like just not the way it is. Like
No.
sometimes your clothes go on the chair and they stay there until you wear them again.
Yeah,
Like,
it's just
but then you're like, you feel bad about yourself. You're like, God, I just left that jacket there for 4 weeks,
until I wanted to wear it again. You're
until I
right.
wanted to wear it again. So anyways, I appreciate the time management conversation and the book as well.
Yeah, of
It's
course.
a little morbid if you think about it.
Well, okay, so I gifted Amy the book 4,000 Weeks Time Management for Mortals because I felt bad after the power went out last time because we face life, things happen. It's not all
100%.
rainbows and all the other fun things.
Mhm.
And we're faced with the reality that if you live to be 80 years old, you only have 4,000 weeks to live,
Mhm.
if that's the average.
Right.
And time only gets faster because of what's relative. And I like having this conversation of when you're 1 year old, 1 month is 1/12 of your life.
It's so wild.
And as you get older, a month becomes so fractional that a month can and it can be a week, right?
But also like that's it's us though.
Yeah.
Like, right? Like
Yeah.
we're creating this like speed
Yes.
every day.
Every day. It's only going to get faster and faster and faster.
And we're always like, and I think a lot of that is just like, for me, I have to remind myself to not try to control the next day too much. Like, you know, I feel like we're always trying to plan. I mean, let's face it, that's how we get things done. But also just like the day to day and just literally enjoying that day.
The moment.
The moment,
Yes.
the day, like, okay, evening tonight, like I get caught up, I get home from work, I'm like soccer practice, dinner, blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden it's like bedtime and you're from the time you get off work already thinking about how you're going to get to bedtime.
Right.
Instead of enjoying the in-between.
Enjoying the mundane tasks of all
Correct.
the things that you're doing all the time. And so time flies by faster because we're we're creatures of habit.
Correct.
And as we're doing the same thing all the time, it doesn't seem new. It's not a new novelty. It's not a new
exciting,
experience.
yeah.
And they all blend together. How many of us got to the end of the week and we're like, what happened this week? It's
No
Friday
idea.
already. You have no idea what
Zero
happened
idea.
because you were stuck in this routine. And so if we can bring ourselves more to the present moment and get like more amused with, well, man, what's that feeling in my foot or this new noise that I'm hearing in this
100%,
moment? Like
yeah.
find something new in what you're doing all the time.
Right.
I don't
And
know.
just not flying by 100%.
No, just
And,
it
like,
all comes back to it. Everything is just being so present.
And that is another thing about being a business owner is also like enjoying what you've built. And that is the hardest part is not looking forward, right?
Yeah.
Being like, oh, wow, a year ago I would have died. Opening Maisonglo in 2020, I would never think that I would have 2 locations.
Yeah.
you know?
So during COVID, how was that?
Yeah, I mean, I literally signed my lease day after stay at home. And I don't know if everyone remembers that. It was such a weird, like February, we were all like going out, going to birthday parties. People were making jokes about, COVID and
Yeah.
you didn't know what it was.
2020, the year of clear vision and all that stuff.
It's just like, you don't, like all these things you have no idea, right? And I remember someone saying, you hear about it, right? And it was like, we hear about stuff all the time. You just don't think it's going to be.
I don't watch the news. You're right. I'm like, oh,
I don't even
something's going
have cable. I don't even know what's going on, honestly, unless you tell me. And then so like, I'm like, okay, I have this business idea, blah, blah. January, I went to New York, scouted a bunch of spas, put the business plan together. February, like started looking at places and spaces to be. March, signed my lease. Literally signed my lease. Next day, stay at home. No idea that was going to happen. Like you don't just never think that's going to happen. Right?
That was not in the business plan.
Not in the business plan. So I'm like, okay, construction was deemed like, what was it called? Like a necessary, I forget the thing they said. It was like something that construction workers could still work.
Right.
I forget.
Essential business.
Essential, like,
Yeah.
The verbiage for it.
Yep.
So I'm like, okay, we're just going to take this time and build out. Meanwhile, you're like using money to build this business out. You don't know that you're going to be able to open. You have no idea.
So
you're just like, there was a couple times where I'm like, I'm not going to do it anymore, like.
Pull the plug on it.
Yeah, but we just did it.
Well, good thing you didn't.
Yeah.
And you're super involved with the community because you're like the small business world in St. Pete is so interconnected.
It is. We like rely on
Because
each other.
I've now had Shelby and Michelle on, Steven, like we're all like all of our circles are intermingling from the people that are coming on the show.
Yeah.
And it's so fascinating to me being a new person to St. Pete. I've not even been here 2 years yet.
I know. I was just talking about the other day with somebody about you. I was like, that's wild. Like, because it is, I would say that in most big city situations, I don't know, in most situations, like you're meeting people because of, like I would know Steven because we had a business relationship, right? Or like everything's very network, right? But like those people that you just mentioned are genuinely my friends.
And they're great people.
And they're great people, but they're genuinely my friends. Like you create friendships and it's not just so like, I can feed you business, you can feed me business. It has nothing to do with that.
No.
It just has to do with like creating friendships. I don't know how to explain it. So it's a little different. I think it's a lot different.
It's a lot different.
A lot different than other cities. Anyway.
For sure. That's why it's special, and that's why we're here rocking and rolling, having this amazing show, because it's an energy thing, right? Like you vibe with those whose energy, you were always putting out an energy.
Right.
Someone is feeling you based on how you're saying something, your tonality, the way you show up. When you come from a place of like, I just want to hang out and get to know.
And like if we have the same things to discuss, that's great.
Right.
If not, also
I can learn from you. I'm sure you got something going on. I have nothing.
Also cool. I think that's hard, right? For me, I would say one of my biggest downfalls as a business owner is I'm not a good networker. And most people would probably find that very alarming about me, but I don't like to do things that feel like they're networking. Like, all these like business groups and all these things like, I just have a hard time with them. I don't want to go. You know, I want to have genuine relationships. I don't want to sell myself.
Right.
It's a difficult thing.
Well, you
for
don't need to.
me.
Just go to Maisonglo and it sells itself.
Exactly. Just come in for a facial. But you know, that is a difficult part for me. They were like, oh, why don't you come to? I'm just making up stuff. Friday morning coffees with
Right.
St. Pete business owners.
Yeah.
I'm like, that sounds great. However, there's a lot of other things I'd like to do,
Yeah.
and I don't want to do that.
So what else do you like to do when we're not I know you're in the grind mode right now,
I am,
okay?
yeah.
But one, let the people know, are you originally from St. Pete?
Yes.
Okay, so we got St. Pete local.
Born and
One of the
raised,
OGs, the unicorns. I'm calling
yeah,
the
there's
unicorn.
not many of us.
No.
I would say I feel like that's so funny people say that because I'm like, wait, I know a ton of people, but obviously because
of course
I'm from
you do because
here,
you're from here, right?
I'm like, okay,
but
yeah.
as an outsider come in, most of the people I know are not from here.
100%. Yeah, I would say that's wild, but
Yeah. So
weird for me.
it's always cool, and I've been meeting more of you.
Yeah, we're out there. We're little unicorns.
You're like your own tribe.
Little microcosm. Yeah,
Yeah.
Shelby's born and raised.
Right, yeah.
St. Pete right here on the beach. So yeah.
Okay, so born and raised St. Pete. You've watched this place transform.
Mm-hmm.
How has it changed from when you were younger, little, as a kid, to now being a business owner?
Yeah.
And
well, St. Pete's always been cool, right? We have the beach, so it's always been like had all the things. Downtown. That's just the biggest transformation in St. Pete. Like, it's downtown St. Pete. That is what's created this whole kind of big city vibe, I would say. Because we've always had some museums. We've always had like an art, artsy situation. We've obviously always had the beaches, but downtown has just gone absolutely wild. And so
it's just going to continue.
Yeah, like when I was, first 21, like there was like 3 bars to go to downtown. Like legit. And like no, they were super fun. No doubt. They were fun. There were some clubs. There were 2 clubs, maybe 2 bars.
Right.
But there was not what there is now. You couldn't bar hop.
Right. Now it's just we can walk down
No,
Central.
You feel like you're in like a bachelorette city or something, right?
It's like a mini Bourbon Street, New Orleans.
A lot cleaner, but
A lot, yeah,
a lot cleaner,
not comparing.
A lot safer.
Yes,
but
in many ways.
So, how I watched St. Pete transform is just obviously so many people coming to St. Pete and just like what St. Pete has to offer. Like there were never, which in some ways St. Pete hasn't changed a lot, right? Like I feel like there's still downtown has that kind of like small business feel. It is changing, however, like we are getting bigger places and restaurants.
How do you feel about that?
I feel fine from an accessibility standpoint as living here. I don't have this whole like, I don't want St. Pete to change. Like if St. Pete doesn't change, we don't grow. I'm a business owner, so I want our city to grow, right?
Change is inevitable. It has to happen.
Housing market, a little scary, which you should know that. For someone in living here is like, wow, like, am I gonna be able to afford to live in my city? I think that's something that the city has to be cognizant of.
Yeah.
To make sure that locals and that young people and that creatives and that the working population can continue to live in our city.
No, that's super important and an issue. Where was I? It was at Breckenridge, Colorado, and so many of the restaurant owners were severely struggling because none of their workers could afford to live near their places of work.
And they're seasonal workers because they can't afford to live.
Right.
There.
So it's just this weird dynamic of you have all these tourists, pouring into this area and people who are remote working and are bringing high salaries from other cities.
Ton of money, correct.
Yep. But now the local is the one who has to bring your food to the table.
Correct.
Can't afford to live there.
Well, and who also honestly creates the vibe. The locals, the younger population, the creatives, all of these people are what bring the energy to St. Pete. If we can't maintain this group, then we're just like a big box city, and we can't do that. So we need to figure out and make sure that
we keep it local.
We keep it local, and then we have places. We keep our market in some sort of, and I don't know how we're gonna do that. To be honest, I think that is where I see a little concern for our city.
I can see that.
Mostly, but I think it's fabulous that it's growing. Like it's so amazing, and that we have so many opportunities as small business owners to grow with the city. I think St. Pete does a really good job of that.
What advice would you give to someone who is either here and wanting to start a local business or is thinking about coming here to start a local business?
Well, the advice I give to anyone to start a business, period, the end, is to do it because you love it, right? Because if you don't enjoy it and you don't have like a knack for it, like it's something inside of you that it's easy for you to have a conversation about, you're just not going to succeed. That's just the reality of it.
Mhm.
If you're not pursuing your own dream and it's someone else's, or you're doing it because you think it's a good idea and you want to make money, it's probably not a great idea. Like, honestly. So,
I agree. You have to have some passion behind it.
so figure out why you're doing it. Like,
Yep.
do you like it? You know, can you do it every day? Could you do it in the most terrible circumstances? Could you do it, right? I would say for people coming into town who want to start a business is in St. Pete. I mean, you're just gonna have to get out there like you did. You're gonna have to go support other businesses, which I see you doing. You go to other small businesses, you support the local gym, you support the local restaurant, you support the local boutique, and
Mhm.
that's how it's really just about
Right.
that support
If
system.
you get back what you give.
100%.
Yeah,
And like
100%.
making sure that obviously you do your research. I mean, that's another thing. Like, there's always going to be competition, and that's okay. Like, we want to work with each other. There's enough people for all of us. I'm just making sure you're coming to the city with something that it needs
Right.
or is looking for.
Don't be another. I don't know.
I can say coffee shop, but I
Yeah.
don't know. Coffee
Yeah.
shops are killing it.
Coffee shops are killing
I
it.
mean,
Yeah. Every
literally,
vibe is different. Yeah.
100%. Like,
Yeah.
it's so funny. I'm like, okay, another coffee shop. I'm in the
Yeah.
wrong business. Like, there's a coffee shop on every corner, and
yeah.
they're killing it.
Right.
But just kind of getting to know the city too, and like what is
What's the vibe?
needed,
Yeah.
what's needed, and don't open something that isn't going to be something St. Pete needs or wants,
Right.
or the people.
I think that's
want.
the biggest thing. If you can find what's missing, and I've been asking some people, what do you think is missing?
Mhm.
You'll thrive here because you'll
Mhm.
get the support once you're in with the community. Everyone's, this is such a referral based
It's such a
city, right?
It's such a city where you're
Like you say, you bring 1, 10 others come.
right, and that's really important. Also, as a small business owner, is to create this like personalized relationship with your clients, because that's what St. Pete likes, right? Like, you like to be able to go to the bar and the owner or the bartender be like, "Hey, Ryan, what's up?"
Of course, who
That
doesn't
is-
like that?
But that's St. Pete,
Right.
right? Like, you can never get that in another city. Like, you just know it and you don't even care about it.
Yeah.
But in St. Pete, it's very accessible. Business owners are accessible,
True.
right? You
Yes,
just
100%.
call up your favorite restaurant, find out who the owner is, and be like, "Hey, what's up?" Like,
My biggest fear in starting this is that I wasn't going to be able to get enough people on.
oh, in the podcast?
Yeah.
And when you
I-
you booked out to like
I'm booked out
August?
till May. Yeah, through May, and we have people that are we're still in it's. I'm so overwhelmed with joy and so grateful.
But this is kind of new, right? Which is wild. Think about St. Pete. Why hasn't someone started a St. Pete podcast? I mean,
I
we
don't
all
know.
feel silly, right? We're like, oh, how did Brian come here and do this? He's not even from St. Pete. We're all like, wait.
Which is cool because I get bring this outside perspective, right? That's what I've been told. So that's what I'm gonna keep
No,
rolling with.
Keep rolling with it. Yeah,
keep rolling
just
with
roll
it.
with that.
The things
Outside
are-
perspective.
yeah.
I'm like, wait, this guy came and like started talking St. Pete podcast. He's not even from St. Pete.
Yeah, but I'm in love with it.
Yeah.
I'm in love with it.
And that's great. So
I
you
mean,
see
yes,
everything.
I'm in the business. I sell real estate. I help people move here, but
Mhm.
but through even this podcast and getting to know you and all the others that have come on, I'm like, oh, that's why this place is so magical.
Right, it really is. It's hard to explain, right? It's really hard to explain to people because it is. Everyone's friendly and like, it's just a different energy for sure. Like, people want to support each other.
100%. So what do you like to do? I started to ask you that.
Besides
work.
Besides work my
yes,
life away.
yes.
Well, I love to do things with my kids. I have a 10 and 7-year-old.
Yeah.
So
what? So that's something a conversation I haven't had
Yeah.
yet. What? So you have 10 and a 7-year-old. What for the other families out there? What are good things to do in St. Pete with the kids?
So I mean, honestly, we enjoy the outdoors a lot because there's just so much accessibility, right? Like walking down a North Shore Park, just like having a picnic, playing at the. I think that is the great thing about St. Pete is there are a lot of affordable things to do with children that you don't need to like go to Dave and Buster's.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there is no Dave and Buster's. You know, so like, okay, so Saturday, for instance, I worked, but then I came home, walked down to the park, got snow cone. There's a kid from Ohio who started a little snow cone cart business.
Love that.
So cute. He like creates his own flavors. I love it. I think it's called like Cool Running or something. You should definitely find out.
Yeah.
He's cool. And he just sits under the park, makes little snow cones, hangs out. So we did that. Played at the park. There's volleyball courts down there. Just like whatever, hung out. The kids were like, we want to go do something else. Went to Three Daughters.
Nice.
Which is a brewery.
Yeah.
But for parents, there's beer, but there's also games.
The kids can play.
Yeah, we played Uno, hung out. So yeah, just like enjoying our city. Like, there's just so much to do.
Yeah.
Museums. My son loves to go to museums.
Really?
Oh my God, he's a museum freak, which sometimes is
What's
like.
his favorite? Do you?
I mean, now he wants to go to the James Museum, which we haven't been yet. It's
haven't
the
been.
Western and Wildlife. It's like right on Central. I mean,
Okay.
any museum, but
Yeah.
he's just a history buff, loves stuff like that.
That's
so like,
awesome.
but we have so many museums in St. Pete.
So many.
It's absolutely
Which
wild.
is funny because I mean, to me, a museum is a rainy day activity, and we don't have that many rainy days.
So I literally say that all the time. Yesterday he asked me, I want to go to museum day. And I was like, it's a boat day.
Right? Yeah.
It's sunny out.
It's nice out.
We're going to, so I love to boat, go to the sandbar, hang out. My daughter loves to find little critters, crabs and
Nice.
stuff, collect those. Just enjoy like literally what our city has to offer. I think as a St. Pete person, it's really hard for us to do things indoors, right? So like, I don't know. If it's a rainy day, like what do you do in St. Pete?
I don't know. Wait for it to stop.
Exactly. No, but literally.
Yeah.
So a lot of things that I do with the kids, it's just
Or
like outdoor
outside.
activities.
Yeah, of course you have
Like
to.
there's so much to do, and we have so much stuff for like parents and kids to enjoy, and like downtown, just like walking around, hanging out.
It's fantastic. My sister and brother-in-law are moving back to St. Pete. They
Okay.
thought moving to Clearwater was a good idea. No shame on that, but
Yeah.
like everyone now they're 30 minutes away from everyone and they have to drive down
And
here
there's
all the
just
time.
like not a lot of accessibility,
Yeah,
right?
so they're moving into Ascent, the new apartment building that's being
Oh,
built downtown with
nice.
a new, I think it's Marriott hotel.
Wait,
And
where is that exactly?
it's in between, I think, 2nd Street and 3rd.
So when is
Street.
that done? Is it done?
They're maybe in the next few weeks they're letting people
Oh my
move in.
God.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're moving there.
Yeah, it's that new spot. What's that name of that spot? Do we remember? I don't know. I was just there.
Oh my God.
The
Katy
new
Barrel.
rooftop.
Katy
Yeah,
Barrel.
Cane and Barrel.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's apartments in there.
That whole building is apartments except for
Oh
the
my
first couple
God, I had no
floors.
idea.
That's what that is.
Okay, it's really cool. It's like wavy.
Yeah. No, it's really cool.
Like the balconies.
I'm
yeah.
excited for them to live close. It's 5 minutes from my office, so I'll be able
So
to walk
how
them.
they have kids? You said.
My sister's pregnant. She's due in June.
So there's a first kid.
It's first kid.
Oh
And so
my
she's so excited. And the
God.
reason she wanted to move downtown is for everything you just mentioned, to be able to throw the
Right.
kid in
Oh
the
my God,
stroller
she's
and
gonna
go
have
to the
best
park,
time. And the
walk
pier.
around in the
And
pier. You're
like,
right.
I go to the pier with my kids all the time. Like it's redundant, but
Right.
it doesn't get old.
No.
It's like the pier park is so cool. For parents, there's a bar. You can get a glass of wine.
Yes.
Watch your kids play in the park.
Yes.
So yeah, they're gonna have a great time. That's amazing.
I'm super excited about
yeah,
that.
that's so fun.
Yeah.
Actually,
To have them close by, and but that everything you mentioned is the reason
Right.
that she wanted to do that,
That's
just to be
good.
able to walk around, have a
yeah. I
good
mean,
time.
that's what I do. That's what you do in St. Pete. It's
Yeah.
like so hard to like justify doing anything else, right? Because it's so
Mhm.
beautiful. So
Right.
just kind of like walk to dinner, walk to lunch. I live in Old Northeast,
Mhm.
so it's like really close to like all the parks, and I like it.
Yeah,
So,
no, it's beautiful. All the
Yeah.
old trees through there and everything.
mhm.
If you're listening to this and you don't know the Old Northeast, it's a beautiful drive. Go check out the
yeah, go
cobblestone
down the
streets.
streets
Yeah.
and like I think Kenwood actually has the largest concentration of like bungalow homes.
Yeah, no.
But there are a lot in Old Northeast
Yep.
as well. Like if you want to just like look
Yeah,
at styles
the
of
craftsman style
home.
homes.
Yeah,
yep.
like all the different homes. There's a bunch of different things, but it's really pretty. I love it.
Love it, love it,
Mhm.
love it, love it. Where do you like to go eat?
Where do I like to eat? I love Casita, Taqueria. Like I could probably eat there every single day. I
Nice.
don't know if anybody else, everyone could eat there every day. It's so good.
It's good.
For going out to eat, I honestly don't eat out as much.
All right, come on, we're celebrating. Where are we going?
Celebrating. Lately in St. Pete, I love a Lalo. That's like the new,
Yeah, right
you're
down
an
on
OG
the beach.
St. Pete. It's the where Nada was. So I think they did a great job with making it feel kind of like a big city place, but we have it right there on Beach Drive.
I haven't been yet. I've heard great things.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
It's great. It's definitely a celebrating, like, even just sitting at the bar. Like, the bar is very vibey, super pretty, really nice,
Nice.
great cocktails, good food, very, very consistent. So I think it's great. Love Wild Child. I'm sure everyone's mentioned that on here.
And I've yet to go. It's going to be the biggest thing when I go there because so many people have
I feel like
mentioned
they
it.
need to like come with a red carpet or something.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Ryan's here. No. So the owners are fabulous. The food is great. I haven't been in a while, honestly. To be honest, I've been working so much that I haven't like really taken the time to go out to eat and like chill. But it's definitely one of my go-tos.
I should get everyone who's mentioned that place to
Let's
come with me
Let's
and have
go.
a dinner party.
It's super fun. And it's just like a good vibe. Like it has an eclectic menu. So I'd say that the food is different, right? Like it's always changing, but like the vibe is very good. And so it's probably I love In Between Days. I don't know if
It's a really cool spot.
So cool.
Yeah, yes. For those who don't know, we'll put them on the map right now.
Yeah.
It's like a house that you could walk by.
It's supposed to be a Japanese listening bar. That's
Yes.
the whole concept
Right.
behind it. But yeah, it's like a house. You wouldn't know it's there.
Wouldn't know it's there. It's really quaint, cool, vibey. Not a lot of. I mean, you gotta have like a spot to sit down and hang out and
Yeah.
listen to.
It's a small little
vibes. Yeah.
spot. I think sometimes they'll have a little DJ with like records and vinyls. It's just like it feels. I don't know. Like it just feels like cool, like a little New York slice or Miami slice in St. Pete. So those places are unique and really cool. I love all of Steven's places. He just does it well, right?
It's crazy. It's crazy.
I honestly I have no idea.
That's what I for those if you haven't listened to Stephen Stroud's podcast,
Yeah.
go because I just dive into trying to figure out his creative process of how do you rinse and repeat and just keep coming out with bangers.
Right. Well, I think he does what a lot of us try to do is look at what they're doing in big cities. Like, what
Right.
are they doing? What can we bring to St. Pete? I mean, that's what I did. I went to New York and I went to
Yeah, what did you learn? What did you learn?
well, I
when
went
you
to
did
4 facial bars there, and I just realized that like there wasn't a need for this in my city. And I saw the way that it's almost like you want like okay, Stephen will probably agree with this. You want your space and your business to feel like a big brand, like it was well thought through,
that?
but it be a small business.
Right.
And so like when you go into Stephen's place, like you're like, oh, this feels like something that should be here, 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 here. Like it's very well thought through, even down to like the drink, like whatever, everything's thought through.
Yep.
But it's a small business, essentially.
You put a lot of thought into it, and remind me because you did tell me what does Maison mean? Is
So
it
Maison
French?
is home for French, and
In
so it's like the House of Glow.
Yeah, the House of Glow.
Yeah, I
Which-
wanted it to be like, you know, not too descriptive, like the skin place, you
No,
know,
no, no,
but
no, no,
like
no, you
something
don't.
cool, right?
It's vibey. And where did the blue come from? Your nails are blue. That's like your
just my
thing.
favorite color.
Yeah.
Baby blue is probably my favorite color. So when you do come into Maisonglo, and if you have, you know that it's blue. Everything's blue. Everything. I have a blue Tesla. Too. I just love the color, and I wanted it to feel like a brand. I wanted it to be like
no, it's cohesive. Colors are important.
right. And so like in Tampa, we just did the same exact thing.
Of
And,
course,
like,
you have to stay
same-
on brand.
100%.
Yeah.
So that's another thing I would definitely, I guess, advice for business owners is like to not get caught up in trends. And like, I see so many girls, like anybody, like they'll change their logo like 400 times. I'm like,
How am I supposed to remember you?
not only that, but like, yes, your new logo is very pretty. It's very pretty. But like the old logo is like, it's fine. It works and
Yeah.
people remember it.
It's more than fine. Yeah.
100%. But like not changing things too much.
Yeah, there's a thing in marketing. I think it takes someone 7 times to hear your name before they really associate it with you. 14 times before they know your name and what you do, and then 21 times before they'll apply it of this is what your name, what you do, and now I'll use you.
Interesting.
So that like if you're thinking about okay, I saw your billboard, I saw your ad here, I saw this, I heard it, like I have to hear it that many times before it really sinks into your brain of like
you ever hear that people are like, oh, I've heard your name before, or I've heard it, you know, and you're like, oh, okay, really? Like, yeah, but people, they talk, you hear it,
Yeah.
and then like continuing to hear that and
Right.
just having that presence, I guess. That's another thing for small business owners is like knowing what to do in marketing wise, like what to spend your money on.
Yeah, what works for you?
Social media. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah.
Social media, right? I don't spend a lot of money on marketing, actually, which is interesting.
It's cool. It's good.
I mean, I spend a lot of time on marketing, but not a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
It's very easy to get caught up in like the Google trap and like all of the things where you're spending a ton of money. And there is a place for that, 100%. But in St. Pete, if you're going to open a business, social media, word of mouth, getting with the right crowd.
Oh, travel quick. That's how we're doing this podcast.
I work a lot with I Love the Berg, and that's so Tampa.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if you know Dex Fabian, but he's
Not
the
yet.
owner of that. He's absolutely incredible. So yeah, so I work a lot with them, and that's just like getting to the masses. Like you move to St. Pete, what do you want to? You look at, you go on social media, you find the St. Pete,
Yeah,
you know,
all the pages.
all the pages. So like doing that has really been helpful, and then just like cross marketing. You just said like, oh, I
Yep.
saw you did something with the Canvas Girls
Yep.
or whatever. Using your friends and like saying, hey, let's do something together. We have the same client base. Like, let's collaborate. So yeah, I would say that would be
That's
my
your thing.
advice. Yeah.
Collaborate, do the fun things,
Do
spread
the fun
word.
things.
Spread the word on social.
I think Steven talks about this a lot too, like knowing where not to give your energy. That's a huge thing, right? Like knowing when it's like, that's a hard thing. Like people are like, oh, I want to meet you. And it's like, you want to help people, but also knowing like where your energy needs to go.
Yeah. For sure. You're helping so many people right now, and we're using social media.
Yeah.
We're doing it.
It's true. We're just doing
Yeah.
it. Yeah, 100%.
We're doing it at
talking.
scale. We're doing it at scale.
Yeah, instead of like, you know, just be careful, you know, like with where your energy goes and how you spend it and, you know, using those times really truly towards your business and not just giving too much of yourself all over. You get exhausted.
So if I'm coming in, so let's just walk through one more time because I want I just want the floodgates to open for you to where
Yes,
you're
to
like, look,
flood it.
yes, to where you're like,
Bring
you
it
have
on
to
with
go
you
to my
all.
Tampa store because we're
Yeah,
booked out,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay, so I'm brand new. I've never had a facial. I've never had a massage. I don't know what to expect. What, walk me through what's gonna happen. I get
Okay.
greeted.
Yeah, you get greeted. So you're gonna come into Maisonglo.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a little different. You're gonna walk in and you're gonna immediately see our facial beds. You're gonna see people getting facials. You're gonna hear upbeat, trendy, fun music. It's going to be completely opposite of what you've envisioned for a spa, I would say. And
That's
I don't
right.
know
I
if you
forgot
can
the open
agree.
concept is really cool.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
mean, you never had a lot of spa experiences, but
I've got massages and like
okay.
massage
So I
places.
imagine that you had an idea, like maybe you'd go into a
Right.
room, right?
Yeah.
So that's the biggest thing, right? You're gonna come in. There's gonna be no cascading waterfalls. There's gonna be no salt lamps. Like that's all great, but just not the vibe. We are definitely more of like an upbeat place,
Mhm.
right? So you walk in and you can see the beds. That's open concept, way different than anywhere you've ever gone before. Come to the front desk. They're gonna check you in, get you comfortable, ask if you need a beverage, all the good things, and then we're gonna take you back and we're gonna get you in a robe, and we're gonna have you all put all your belongings in a bin. We're gonna lock that behind you, and we're gonna start your facial. And when you look up, you're gonna see yourself because I don't know if you remember, there are mirrors on the
I do remember.
ceiling.
I do remember.
And I just remember when I was scouting places in New York, it was all great, whatever. I took pieces from everywhere, and I remember being like, I wish I knew what they were doing. You know, like it's almost just like you can't see, and it's like some of that is relaxing, but some of it's like you kind of want to know the next step.
Yeah, because I had my eyes closed and I would peek. I'm like, what? Oh,
Yeah,
she
what's
doing?
that?
What's
Yeah, you
happening?
feel something cold on your face. You're
Yeah.
like, what's that?
happening? Oh, what color is this?
That's a little fun thing that
Yeah.
we did. So we have these little mirrors in the ceiling, so you can kind of see what's going on. And sometimes we'll walk you through. Like if you look up, you can see what I'm doing.
Right.
Et cetera, et cetera. And you're going to have a facial from. We're going to do all the things. We're going to do extractions. We're going to do masks. We're going to do facial massage. We're going to do a skin analysis to kind of like tell you this is what we think your skin might need or not need, and kind of go through it all with you. And then you're gonna relax.
It's nice. You get this nice mist that's just like dumping on your face the whole
Yeah,
time.
the
Like
steam.
the steam. Yeah, I was like, oh, this is so
That's
cool.
yeah.
It's like the little things. Look, I pick up on. I've never had the experience, so that was something that was
that's
cool.
awesome that you. I mean,
I had to.
I love to hear like all the little things that people pick up on. But I
Right.
think the reality is like it's so funny. I think a lot of people come in and like you're a little nervous to be like in an open concept, right? But like I don't know if you can attest to this, but like you don't feel like you're next to someone, and you truly are. You are next to someone, but you get in this little cocoon, and like it's also a lot, like you said, a lot less intimidating because you're not going into a private room with someone, and you don't have this like pressure to have a conversation. Like everyone's talking. It's just
I didn't feel. I remember the day I came in there. It was a long day. It was like 4:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah, you came in late. Yeah.
Yeah, it was later in the day, and I wanted to be. I was excited internally to be there, but when my gas
The
tank is
energy,
low,
yeah.
and it was so like because of the cool colors and upbeat. Like it was like, oh, this is
we like that.
It was comfortable.
Yeah.
It was comfortable, even without
Right.
no salt lamps, none of that.
Yeah,
stuff.
all the stuff that you
yeah.
would. I mean,
Yeah,
and no shade to salt lamps.
No,
I
no
love them.
shade. Yeah,
No shade to salt
there's one
lamps.
right here.
Yeah, no shade to salt lamps. They create a vibe.
Yes,
but
but it was very
it's different.
Yes, it was a great experience, and I have to do it again.
You're gonna have to do it again. And
I
I
have to
feel
do-
like as a man, that's a great like thing because it's like men don't typically feel comfortable in those settings.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever gone
I
for a
just don't-
pedicure and everyone's like staring at you.
I've
You're
had like 3 in my life.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, but like you should feel more comfortable to do them. And like
Right.
that's the whole thing. Why Maisonglo Open is to create a space for all, accessible skincare, right? So that young, old men, women, whatever can come and just like do it. You know?
Well, you're doing it, and you're doing it well. You've executed. Tampa's going to launch.
It's going to.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
It's everything's gonna be great.
It's
and
gonna be
like if I
fantastic.
was here 5 months into opening St. Pete, I would be feeling the same
Yeah, of
way.
course.
But you know,
Yes.
it goes.
So no matter where you're at, go check out Maisonglo.
Yep.
Um,
St. Peter, Tampa.
St. Pete or Tampa, where do they find Maisonglo.com? Is that
Yeah,
your website?
Maisonglo.com. You can look at us on Instagram.
Check out the gram. You can see what it looks like inside, all the fun
mhm.
things.
Yeah.
I don't know. No, we didn't get any pictures or video, I think, when I was there.
I got a video of you getting
Did
a
you?
jelly mask.
Did
you
you?
not see it? I posted it on
I
social
did. Yeah, if you
media.
still have that, send that to us.
I'll send it to you.
We'll
yeah,
throw it
it's
in there.
good.
Yeah.
It's good. I was like, oh, I'm gonna get this video.
No, I forgot about that. No, yes.
No,
yes.
and
yeah.
so when you were there, did you expect any of that? Like, you any expectations or no?
No, I had zero. I didn't know
Okay.
what I was walking into.
Okay.
So the jelly mask was probably my favorite because
You
it
were like,
was,
what is this?
yeah, this is a cool, fun sensation.
Yeah,
this is
100%.
neat. Amy, I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thanks
This
for
was a
having
lot of
me.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think I was thinking about it. There's going to become a time where I'm going to want to have certain guests back.
Yeah,
And
a
you're,
year from now.
yeah, you're going to be one of them. We're
And
talking
I'll be
seeing-
here talking about how I'm opening another store like a
Yeah,
crazy person,
yeah,
most likely.
yes, that's what we do. That's what we do.
Exactly.
So appreciate you. Check out Maisonglo.com.
Mhm.
Go get your facial, folks. It's gonna be great. Amy's great. The staff that she has is amazing. Go support local businesses.
Yep.
It's amazing.
Thanks, Ryan.
Yes, of course. Appreciate all of you for listening, watching. If you're still here with us, please comment. What should we say? Glow. We like glow. Comment
Mhm.
glow below if you're still here supporting us. Much appreciated. Don't forget, if you need anyone, if you know anyone looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, this episode is sponsored by Bogdan Homes. Love you all. See you on the next one.
All right.
Thank you. That was good.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy.